band names in rock history balance mystery, melancholy, and meaning quite like The Cure. It's a name that feels at once gentle and defiant, a single word that captures contradiction, pain and healing, sadness and salvation, despair and beauty. For Robert Smith, that word would become more than a title. It would become a mirror for his art, a vessel for all the moods, contradictions, and emotions that would define one of the most enduring bands in modern music. The story of how The Cure found their name is a story of evolution, musically, emotionally, and philosophically. It begins in Crawley, West Sussex, in the mid-1970s, where a teenage Robert Smith, along with schoolmates Michael Dempsey and Lowell Tolhurst, started their first band. Like many young musicians caught up in the British punk wave, their early efforts were raw and experimental. They called themselves the Obelisk, a name that hinted at grandeur but didn't yet match their emerging style. As punk's DIY energy swept through England, the trio embraced its urgency and rechristened themselves Malice, a fitting name for the era, full of bite and attitude. But Smith was never just another punk kid. Even then, he was drawn to melody and introspection, to lyrics that cut deeper than rebellion. By 1977, as their sound evolved into something more melodic and atmospheric, they changed their name again, this time to Easy Cure, inspired by one of Smith's own songs. Easy Cure had a strange charm, playful yet ironic, hinting at both comfort and contradiction. The band even won a talent competition, sponsored by Germany's Hansa Records, earning a short-lived recording deal. But the relationship quickly soured. The label wanted radio-friendly polish. Smith wanted raw truth. In classic Cure fashion, they walked away from the deal rather than compromise their sound. It was during that moment of creative independence that Robert Smith stripped the name down to its essence. He dropped the easy and kept the word that mattered most, The Cure. It was lean, clean, and profound. It could mean anything: a remedy, a relief, an escape, or even an ironic comment on life's inability to be fixed. Smith liked that ambiguity, the idea that a single word could hold both comfort and futility. When their debut album, Three Imaginary Boys, 1979, arrived, the name already felt prophetic. Unlike the bombastic punk acts of the time, The Cure's music was sparse, introspective, and emotionally raw. Songs like 10:15 Saturday Night and Fire in Cairo channeled isolation and frustration through hypnotic guitar lines and haunting restraint. The Cure weren't offering escape from darkness. They were showing how to live inside it. As the 1980s unfolded, the name's significance deepened. Records like 17 Seconds, Faith, and Pornography turned The Cure into the architects of modern melancholy, exploring depression, disillusionment, and existential dread with haunting beauty. Later albums, The Head on the Door, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, and Disintegration, expanded their palette, weaving pop ecstasy and romantic tragedy into a lush, emotional universe. Every era reaffirmed what the name implied: music as medicine for the human condition, whether the cure was real or just the act of feeling less alone. Robert Smith once said the name The Cure was both sincere and sarcastic. That duality became the band's entire ethos. Their songs could make you cry or dance, sometimes both at once. They could be fun, heartbreaking, or transcendent, but always honest. The Cure wasn't about fixing pain. It was about transforming it into something beautiful. Decades later, the name still resonates with almost mythic power. It feels timeless, a single word that sums up what their music has done for millions: soothed without simplifying, healed without denying, and made sadness sound sacred. In the end, The Cure wasn't just a name Robert Smith chose. It was a truth he grew into, a reflection of the music's purpose and the listener's experience, a cure for heartbreak, for alienation, for silence, a reminder that sometimes feeling deeply is the cure.